Let's go to an item we covered during the week with Sinead Lucy from the Human Rights Commission, calling on the government to make recompense to the many women and indeed children who ended up in Magdalene Laundries. A Kildare man from Prosperous, Ger Boland, made a documentary last year which attracted a lot of attention on an occasion when we also covered this whole Magdalene issue. It was called Forgotten Maggies. Ger, good morning to you.
Good morning, how's it going?
You had a number of meetings, I think, cross-committee meetings and stuff over a year ago, but you'd like to echo what the Human Rights Commission were saying. There's been little or no movement in this whole issue.
Yeah, well, basically, after the documentary came out, about 25 Magdalene women came forward to myself and Stephen O'Riordan, and we started a group called Magdalene Survivors Together. And then from that, then we decided to kind of carry on the campaign. And basically, we have had meetings with various different departments and TDs. We've obviously wrote a lot of letters, but we have meetings with, I'll just mention some names here that we have met with: Mary Harney, John Gormley, Tom Kiss, Kathleen Lynch, Chris Andrews, Michael Kennedy. We've met with the Department of Justice as well, and basically we've sat down with these people, both myself, Stephen, and Magdalene women, and we've gone into great detail of how these women did suffer through the hands of the state. So what I was shocked and really annoyed with basically 2 days ago was the government came out and just said kind of regrettably they weren't given an opportunity by the Commissioner to kind of evaluate their inquiry or the points made, whereas in fact over a year ago they've had this information and the complete details. It was back in 2007 we already talked to the Irish Commissioner of Human Rights, and we've already raised the issues with the government and all those TDs, as I've said, with all the points that they've carried out. So they have had an opportunity to respond to everything that has happened. They've even set up a cross-party committee as well with Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and Labour TDs, and yet nothing has happened with the information. And I think some people thought it was great news in the last 2 days that the inquiry has gone through, whereas in fact I just think, well, it's not such great news really in effect, because as I said, they've had an opportunity for the past year to respond to the inquiries that we've put across.
A reminder, by the way, to people that you can hear an excerpt from that interview with Sinead Lucy again on Encore Saturday mornings 10 and 11, highlight interviews from the week's editions of Kildare Today. That'll be among interviews along with Maureen O'Hara, Jack O'Connor, Richard Bruton and Vicky Maloney, who reduced her weight from 28 to 14 stone over a period of a couple of years. Ireland's now second most curviest woman, we're told. But in particular this Magdalene Laundries will have an excerpt from that interview, because the report certainly came out very strongly and convincingly that these women were, the state has a responsibility to these women, and it's the government needs to get behind them and sort out some sort of recompense for them, because as Sinead Lucy pointed out, the state had a role in putting them in there, because one of the options when many of these women were actually brought before the courts was you can have a fine, you can go to jail, or you can go to Magdalene Laundry. And of course we in society were guilty also of stigmatising so many women who became pregnant out of wedlock and were forced by society and their families and in general attitudes into these institutions. And by the way, we should also make note that the religious orders, and there were 4 of them involved, have all refused to engage in any way whatsoever with either the Justice for Magdalene's organisation or indeed any sort of scheme or recompense or investigation.
There was also, when women went into the Magdalene Laundry, they were then sent after the Magdalene Laundry into state-run mental institutions. So you just have to repeat the word state-run, that kind of way. The state are written all over this.
They are
and
indeed.
Nothing has happened.
All right, Chair, very briefly, Chair, his time is just cut up on us. Is the film still doing the circuit?
Basically, when the women came to us, we kind of pulled the plug on the film in a sense that we decided to re-edit, restructure, re-interview, and basically we're hoping for a re-release and a relaunch of a new film, basically the same title, in March.
All right, you might come back to us well ahead of that and let us know, and we'll be happy to give as much coverage to that whole painful area. Who'll ever forget Margaret as she recounted her story over the course of an hour to us here in the programme about a year ago of her experience in a Magdalene Laundry, and after that in Dundrum Mental Institution, just basically proving the point the Chair just made there. Ger Boland, filmmaker and working with Justice for Magdalene's from Prosperous. Thanks, Chair. Good talking to you.
Cheers, thanks.
All right.